깜판이 태도 머릿속을 흔드니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가 안만 빠져버릴까 If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Yeah, yeah, you got me Let it go 얼어붙어 like whoa 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에 더 나고
It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it. I know it. It does not matter who the host is. Today is Tuesday, June the 28th of 2022. Yes, of 2022. And day 179th of the year. And only 186 left to go before the whole thing's over with and we start heading, here in a few days we'll start going down the downward spiral, if one may call it that. And I think I just did, so I guess that's fine. Anyways, how are you? How have you been for the last 23 hours or so? Because that's always an important conversation for us to have, to discuss, and all that other kind of fun stuff. So how's it been over the last 23? Because that might have been the last time that you and I hung out, or if you listen to us later in the day, it could change that. That's a whole other ordeal to talk about. Anyways, we're broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and we are also coming across that other place that we do stuff at. Well, you know what it is.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yeah, we are hanging out on Radio Big FM. So should we start talking about it now that, just for the sake of doing so, we will not be here on Monday, with it being the Day of Independence here in the United States. So we will not be here on Monday. So I guess I should probably just tell you that ahead of time, just in case if you did not know that already. But I'm pretty sure that you're pretty smart and you already kind of figured that would be the case. So that's what was going on there. So with that being said, I have to tell you, if you want to interact with the show, it's a pretty simple process. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That is callinradio.com. That is the only way anytime that I'll be able to see anything that you do with the show itself. So that's always important, because if you want the interaction for us to see what is going on, that's where you'll have to go, callinradio.com. And, we do pump some people through sometimes, if I tend to remember. So that is the important portion there. Also, a lot of excitement about some of the conversations during the main story yesterday. And I guess, it's always good to see people interact and get, tell me on how they love their guns, God, and government. In regards of when we talk about things, and hey, we'll take it for what it is and move forward from there. Maybe we'll make you a little bit happier with today's main story, but stick around. We'll talk about that here in just one bit. Anyway, so a lot of stuff going on in the overnight, so let's talk about what was trending and what is trending right now. Brittany Griner was trending after making an appearance in the Russian court on Monday. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. In honor of PTSD Awareness Day, several mental health organizations tweeted out resources for those seeking help, and others used the day to bring attention to the fact that PTSD is the main cause of veteran suicide, which we talk about suicide all the time here. Let's see. Rudy was trending after grocery store worker hit Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani. Oh my God, I can't even say it. Giuliani on the back on Sunday. Former mayor was campaigning for his son Andrew at the time. The man who hit was arrested. Establishment clause landed on Twitter's top 10 as trends on Monday after the Supreme Court ruled versus on Kennedy v. Bremerton. Well, we can talk a little bit more of that if we want to get a little bit swampy this morning. So I'll leave that up to you if you want to be swamp-like or swamp-ish or swamp something. So if you're not familiar with the show, and that's okay, it won't hurt my feelings as we say that, we do talk about safety in the news and safety, make fun of some of the safety organizations that are out there, and do all that kind of fun stuff because, that's what we do around here. This originally started off as a show for people to come to and rant. And that has died down because of the fear of people finding out on who it was. And I think that at the time that we started this, there really wasn't a lot of ranters going around and talking about how disappointed they are with certain things. And hey, I get it. Things change, people copy and all that kind of fun stuff. So now there's more ranting available on other sources. Hey, and I get it. It's fun stuff. But also at the same time, too, with that being said, the rant show has changed into the news show that talks about safety news and everything else that's going on. And one of the biggest questions that I get all the time was, well, you don't talk all the time about news. Yeah, I don't think I could do 5 hours a week talking about news that's related only to safety. I mean, we could talk about some of the stuff, but we can't talk about only that, and there's so many other things that are going on inside of the world of the news, so that is why there is a combination of things going on inside of the world. So just in case if you were curious on what is the reasoning sometimes behind some of that, that is the razón. That is the reason right there. So with that being said, here's what's going to happen over the next few moments. We will bring in some professional broadcasters. They will tell us what is going on inside of the world of the news because that is always important. And then I will come back. We'll talk about some more news stories. And then I'll give you some lingo inside of the bingo hall in regards of what is going on. And then we will do some interactions, go from there, and then call it a day and move on to the next thing. Sounds pretty simple enough, I would imagine. And from that particular portion, that's where we go.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. 46 migrants are dead, another 16 injured after being found inside a big rig truck in San Antonio, Texas. 3 people are in custody in connection to the incident. Police say temperatures could have been as high as 120 degrees inside the truck. Voters will cast ballots in a number of states today. Mark Mayfield fills us in.
They'll be deciding races up and down the ballot in New York, Illinois, Colorado, Utah, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and South Carolina. One of the races gaining national attention features Republican Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado. She's facing a challenge from moderate State Senator Dan Corum. This is the first election since last week's landmark Supreme Court rulings on the Second Amendment and abortion rights. I'm Mark Mayfield.
A South Carolina law that outlaws abortions after about 6 weeks is in effect. An injunction blocking it was lifted yesterday. Friday's Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade gave states clearance to enact abortion bans. 3 of America's biggest retailers are limiting purchases of the emergency contraceptive pills known as the Morning After and Plan B. Trey Thomas with details.
CVS, Rite Aid, and Walmart announced limits Monday following the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which made abortion legal in all 50 states. The pills have been in short supply since Friday's ruling. To ensure a consistent supply, CVS and Rite Aid are limiting purchases to 3, and Walmart is limiting sales this week to 4 or 6.
Gun safety legislation in California may mirror Texas's 6-week abortion ban law. The state assembly passed a bill Monday that would allow private citizens to sue the makers and sellers of assault-style firearms and parts for untraceable ghost guns. The Texas law allows private citizens to sue abortion providers and anyone who helps a woman get an abortion. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
From Story News In London, I'm Chris Jones. At least 46 migrants have been found dead inside an abandoned tractor-trailer in San Antonio, Texas. G7 leaders meeting in Germany have labelled Russia's attack on a Ukrainian shopping mall a war crime. China's president is planning a 2-day visit to Hong Kong to mark the 25th anniversary of the city's return to Chinese rule. And British MPs have voted in favour of new legislation giving the government powers to change parts of the Northern Ireland Protocol.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Airlines are still having trouble with flight cancellations, and that could mean big headaches for travelers over the 4th of July holiday. AAA's Marie Dodd says avoiding the peak travel days is your best bet.
Over the Independence Day holiday, Friday, July 1st will be the busiest day at airports, and Monday, July 4th will be the lightest day for air travel.
Other helpful tips include booking flights in the early morning because they're less likely to be canceled. Using a travel agent and buying travel insurance are also recommended.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A rocket launch from New Zealand this morning. It's carrying a microwave oven-sized satellite into lunar orbit, the next step in NASA's return to the moon. The Capstone spacecraft, developed by Colorado-based Advanced Space, will test out the orbital path ahead of NASA's moon orbiting outpost named Gateway. Gateway will eventually support the long-term return of humans to the moon. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot isn't apologizing after cursing out U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Lightfoot directed the profane comment at Thomas while on stage during a Pride in the Park event in Grant Park over the weekend.
Thank you, Clarence Thomas.
Video of the comment is going viral. The mayor was criticizing Thomas for suggesting that last week's reversal of Roe v. Wade should lead to a review by the High Court of gay marriage. In response to the situation, Lightfoot tweeted a photo last night of herself pointing toward an audience member's T-shirt bearing the same profane statement she used. The post reads, "I said what I said." Suspensions are being handed out by Major League Baseball after Sunday's bench-clearing brawl in Anaheim. 12 members of the Los Angeles Angels and Seattle Mariners have received discipline for their roles in the on-field incident. Angels interim manager Phil Nevin received a 10-game suspension, while Mariners outfielder Jesse Winkler is being suspended 7 games. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now? That live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Coming up next on the Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, don't go too far away because we are just moments away of getting into the main story. Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. Currently 17 minutes past the top of the hour. We are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show, doing the stuff that we get to do around here, because that's always, some fun stuff to do so. Anyways, thank you for all the messaging that's coming in through callinradio.com. Not sure on how exciting some of that stuff is, but hey, we'll talk about it. Anyways, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has asked G7 leaders to give his country the resources to push back on Russia's offensive by the end of the year. He has reportedly said that the winter's cold weather will make it easier for Russia's military to solidify advance later this year, when frozen grounds makes it easier to transport heavy equipment. So there you go. Be on the lookout and see what the hell G7 will have to say about it. Let's see. It's a good time to be a landlord. Real estate site Redfine reports that in May, the median rent in the U.S. exceeded $2,000 a month for the first time in history, reflecting a 15% increase over the last year. A Wall Street Journal analyst suggests that it's because that there is an increased number of high earners in the market who don't want to and can't afford to buy a house on their own. You know, it's an interesting time when it comes to the real estate market as we are talking, because that's going to be some more and more intriguing things as we move forward. But that will be something that you'll get to look into if you're so inclined to do so. Because some people will tell you, if you're looking right at this moment, it is just time to sit down, shut up, and buy if you can afford it to do so, because all you're going to see is increases. That's their wording, not mine. I'm just sharing with you. Anyways, Amazon held its Mars conference in Las Vegas last week, where it shows off products and technology in development for future public release. When such innovation allows Alexa users to customize artificial intelligent voice, one Amazon executive said that using only 1 minute of audio of someone speaking, their technology could allow us to do anything with a voice. No word yet on when this feature will be available, or if ever, in the market, because some of the things that people are saying about it. I mean, I already have some voices in my head. Okay, maybe that's not what I meant to say. There's already some voices that come to mind that I would know, that I would program on my one in particular, and exactly on who I would love to listen to tell me what to do all day long. That would be fantastic. Anyways, an Amtrak train derailed near Medina, Missouri on Monday, leaving at least one passenger dead. The train reportedly hit a dump truck At the street crossing at an early afternoon, there were 243 passengers on board and a dozen crew. No other information has been provided at this time. But, it's the rarity of hearing this with train stuff. But it's something that we do need to bring up because, the transportation industry is the part of the backbone of America. I was having a conversation yesterday and talking about the backbone of America. I think there's something out there that a lot of people have not given a lot of consideration to. And we should probably bring this up because it's important. You are aware that gas prices are on the rise and, they kind of just have been fluctuating close to $5. When we get to the point where truck drivers and farmers can't afford diesel anymore, that is going to be a huge issue for you and I. And why do I say this? You're probably going, well, I'm not a farmer and I'm not a truck driver. That means that food can't get to you. That means that goods can't get to you. And I think that from that particular portion on, we're going to have all kinds of issues if you really think about it.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's go into this real quick because I think we need to talk about it. Undersea explorers believe that they have discovered the deepest shipwreck ever. The researchers found that the remains of the USS Samuel B. Roberts at the depth of 22,916 feet off the coast of the Philippines. It was a battle of the Leyte Gulf back in October of 1944, which has been called by some historians the biggest naval battle in history. The Sammy B sank after sustaining damage by the Japanese battleship Yamato. Off of the 224-man crew, only 120 survived. So interesting to see that at 22,916 feet, something that occurred back in October of 1944. So interesting times there for sure. Anyways, with that being said, I think we are close enough to doing that thing that we do, where we'll bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us exactly what's going on inside of the world of the market.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. The rebound in equities faltered Monday for good reason. Not only is there a key read of inflation due out at the end of the week, but the price of oil is rebounding. If it gets much higher, it may set a new all-time high and drive inflation to new levels. In regards to inflation, the PCE price index is due out on Thursday and is expected to be hot. The core PCE is expected to accelerate 0.1 to 0.4% on a month-over-month basis and drive the year-over-year gains to 5% to put even more pressure on the FOMC to act. The latest read on the FOMC is that a 75 basis point interest rate hike will come in July and another is likely in August. This will put the rate at 3% to 3.25% by the middle of the summer versus the end of the year as it was predicted just a month ago. If the PCE data is hotter than expected, it's likely the FOMC will increase rates at an even more aggressive pace and potentially throw the economy into a lengthy recession. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thanks John Smalls for letting us know what is going on there. I have to tell you, if you have not signed up for that newsletter, you need to do it. You need to do it because it's important. It's important what's going on there. Anyways, by the numbers, the Dow lost about 62.42 points on Tuesday, while the S&P 500 shed about 11.63 points, and the NASDAQ lost about 83 points. West Texas Intermediate closed at $109, while the Brent crude ticked back up to 111.17. The national average price of a gallon of gas ticked down to $4.89. Ticking down to $4.89 is something that I go, wow, it's still extremely high. I have a friend that every time that I talk to them, they are convinced that number starts with a 3, not a 4, and I'm just always like, you're telling me a 3. There is no gas station that I have seen besides the error that occurred a few weeks ago of anything starting with a 3, or the person that did the 0.69 instead of the $6.99 they were supposed to do per gallon in good old California. That's another story. I'm not even sure if we talked about it because we talk about so many news stories. It's hard to keep up. So just something to think about. Anyways, Bitcoin lost $139.30 in value. Now it's down to $20,902.90. So there you go. If you're playing that, I have to tell you once again, we have skipped over the charts because my brain is just not there anymore. My lizard brain, as one would say. So here you go. 24 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's go over the charts of what is going on inside of iTunes and Spotify because we didn't do it at the very top as we were talking. So here we go. At the number 5 spot, according to Spotify, is Charlie Puth and Jungkook with Left and Right. At number 4 is Harry Styles As It Was. At number 3 is Joji with Glimpse of Us. At number 2 is Post Malone and Doja Cat with I Like You, a happier song. And at the number 1 song, according to Spotify, is Beyonce, Break My Soul. Wow, that sounds dark. According to iTunes, this is what the layout of the land looks like there. Luke Combs, The Kind of Love We Make. Hey now. At number 4 is Taylor Swift with Carolina. At number 3 is Beyonce with Break My Soul. At number 2 is Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill, A Deal with God. And at the number 1 spot is Charlie Puth and Jungkook with Left and Right. So there you go. You see the differential between the two things. Which one is your favorite service, if you don't mind me asking? Is it Apple Music? Is it Spotify? I'll tell you, I have 2 service providers, and if you like YouTube and you hang out quite a bit on YouTube, if you sign up for YouTube Prime, it includes YouTube Music, and I'm not pitching anything here. I'm just telling you what's going on. So it's all in one price, and YouTube Premium, well, it gives you YouTube without commercials. And, you know, you can't go wrong with YouTube without commercials. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the news. Jeffrey Epstein's confidant is to be sentenced today. And it's a sentencing day for a confidant and financier of Jeffrey Epstein. We got some more news. Here's Joe Malkin with some reporting.
60-year-old Ghislaine Maxwell faces up to 55 years in federal prison after her conviction in December for child sex trafficking. Prosecutors say the British socialite who once dated Epstein helped him recruit underage girls to abuse at his Palm Beach home and elsewhere. The convicted sex offender died of an apparent suicide in a New York City jail cell while awaiting his own trial. Maxwell's attorney had claimed his client was on suicide watch prior to her sentencing, but told the judge she was not suicidal. Maxwell continues to claim she's innocent, and defense attorneys requesting a term of no more than 5 years. I'm Joel Malkin.
Okay, thank you, Joel, for that one, letting us know what exactly is going on inside of the world there. Anyways, AAA estimates that 3.3 SoCal residents will travel over the 4th of July. The Automotive Club of Southeastern, how's it Southeastern? California estimates that almost 3.5 million SoCal residents will travel for the 4th of July weekend. Daniel Martindale has more information.
That would make this year the 3rd busiest 4th of July week for local roadways ever, only behind 2019 and 2018. The majority of travelers, 2.7 million of them, are expected to drive rather than fly, despite near record high gas prices. 426,000 people are expected to fly, while the other 168,000 are expected to take buses and trains. Topping the list of destinations for Southern California residents are Las Vegas, San Diego, the Grand Canyon, Mexico, and Yosemite. I'm Daniel Martindale.
So for the 4th of July, I'm going to Mexico. I like it. I like the idea. Sounds good to me. Anyways, a black man who was wrongfully arrested after being mistaken for a white man will be getting $90,000 in a settlement money from Las Vegas Area Police Department. More about that. Take a listen.
25-year-old Shane Brown was arrested by Henderson police and spent 6 days in jail in January of 2020. At the time, there was a warrant out for the arrest of another Shane Brown, a 49-year-old white man. The younger Brown didn't have ID on him at the time, but gave officers his social security card. Still, they believed he was the suspect. Brown spent 2 days at Henderson Detention Center and 4 days at Clark County Detention Center. He's getting $25,000 from Henderson Police and $65,000 from Las Vegas Metro Police, who run the Clark County Detention Center. I'm Daniel Martindale.
What do you think about that one? That one makes it some interesting stuff going on right away. Anyways, charges filed against a ShopRite employee who slapped Giuliani, a ShopRite employee accused of slapping former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani on the back on Sunday, will end up facing minor charges. 39-year-old Daniel Gill went before the judge on Monday and had his felony charges downgraded to 3 misdemeanors. Giuliani went back to Staten Island to ShopRite last night to hold a primary Eve rally for his son who's running for governor.
He hit me hard enough to knock me forward about like that. Now, you know elderly people die mostly from falls? This guy could have killed me.
Giuliani has, hold on, wrong person. Gill has been suspended from his job at the store that does the investigation into the backslap. Some political insiders are questioning on just how bad the slap was and whether Andrew Giuliani's campaign is just seizing on some last-minute free publicity as voters go to the polls. I mean, a slap is a slap. I guess we should talk about that because that's important. Anyways, a parolee with a knife arrested after a long standoff. So a parolee is behind bars after a standoff with police at a shopping center and in Port Hueneme. Daniel Martindale has more information.
At about 10:15 Monday morning, state parole agents tried to arrest the 56-year-old man for violating the terms of his parole, but he pulled a knife and ran to a shopping center. Port Hueneme police found the man outside a Starbucks, but he refused to surrender. The Starbucks and other businesses in the area were evacuated. The guy pointed the knife at cops several times during the standoff. He finally gave up after officers hit him with less than lethal shotgun rounds. The man has a criminal record.
I love it when things cut off like that. It's quite fantastic. It always works well. So there you go. That's what's going on there. Anyways, let's continue talking just relatively quick. Kent County, Michigan prosecutor Chris Becker says that he will not ignore the state's 1931 law banning abortions except when mothers' lives are in danger. David Kallman is a senior legal counsel for the Great Lakes Justice Center and represents Becker and Jackson County prosecutor.
They're not saying they would or would not prosecute at that point. They would have to see what the charges are, what the facts are of that particular case, and make a charging decision at the time.
Becker says in a statement that it would be improper for me to pick and choose the laws that I wish to enforce. Attorney General Dan Niesel says that other prosecutors in Michigan say that they will not enforce the old law. Becker says that he cannot join them in their position. David Kallman, a senior legal counsel for the Great Lakes Justice Center, is representing the Kent County prosecutors. Chris Becker and Jackson County prosecutors, as they say, they don't have to obey the injunction on their 1931 law.
It's not an appropriate injunction in terms of our client's position.
So there you go. A lot of stuff still going on inside of there. We're going to do one more before we get into our main. Take a listen to this. South Carolina fetal heartbeat law now in force. South Carolina fetal heartbeat law is in force. Trey Thomas has more information.
The law took effect Monday after an injunction blocking it was lifted. Friday's Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade gave states clearance to enact abortion bans. The South Carolina statute outlaws abortions at about 6 weeks after a fetal heartbeat is detected. The law allows for exceptions before 20 weeks of pregnancy for rape and incest. I'm Trey Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Trey Thomas, for keeping us informed on what exactly is going on there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move forward into our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So let's start talking a little bit about things that are going on inside of this world of ours, because it's always important to do so. You know, I was talking and moving and grooving and doing all the fun stuff that I get to do as we do some research for some of these news stories. And I figured that today was the day to have the conversation, to go over some of the information that we should talk about. So if you ever take a look at some of these bigger organizations that offer up some safety resources and all these things that are available, it's interesting on how you are crumb-fed all the way across the board before you actually are able to get into some of the actual aspects of what is going on. And let me tell you what I'm talking about here. Have you noticed that some of these bigger organizations that they want you to become a quote-unquote member, it becomes a little bit more difficult to get some of that information on what their principles, belief systems, and all that kind of fun stuff is before you're able to get into it? So let's kind of flip the script real quick because it'll be a little bit easier to talk about it. But most organizations that you want to interact with, most membership clubs that you want to interact with, within the first 5 minutes or so, you're really able to have that discussion of what their principles are, what their belief systems are, and how they actually do their memberships inside of their clubs. Pretty simple process, not that difficult to actually come about. But it's amazing to me that some of these bigger organizations that we interact with inside of our sequence, which is the world of safety, on how difficult it is to get some of that information and some of that data. So let's think about this real quick. Some of these organizations tell you right away, and it's kind of an interesting process, that if you want to go to one of their meetings, number one, there is a fee to go to it. So automatically, before you really even get fully vested into it, they will start charging you to go to the meeting. Now, here's the fun part. Depending on where your location is or your chapter setup is actually based out of, they might let you go into the first meeting for free, but then there will be a charge going forward from every other meeting from that particular portion on. Hey, that's up to them and exactly how they want to lay that out. But then to become a member, there is a fee, a yearly fee that you must pay. But still at this particular portion, all you're getting is paperwork to become a member, but not really the information on what their belief system is. They have normally some pretty fancy speakers that might come about and talk about what is going on inside of the world of safety before anything is laid out to you. Makes sense so far? Now, here's the fun part. The way that they actually get after the younglings, as I like to call them, if you are in college, your membership is free. Yeah, you heard me there. You don't have to pay anything because you are in college, so your membership is free. Still, during none of this process, the belief systems of what they actually do are spoken about. Why is that? Why is it that principles and beliefs in these non-disparagement clause are not all incorporated all at one time? That's going to be some of the fun part that you don't understand until you get the membership fee in regards of that being built in. So why can't this be explained on everything that needs to happen before things move on? And it's something that some people, I will tell you, based on some of the information yesterday, kept on referencing. Was I referencing that some of these groups are cults? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I am not familiar enough of being, I guess, involved with any version of a cult to be able to answer that. And that's always the interesting part. It's always going to be on the eye of the beholder. It's going to be your thought process of what you think about it. I don't know about some of these things. But when you have to give up rights and when you have to give up things that you're able to do to be able to be part of a group, I would probably start having some questions. And why all of a sudden is it so difficult to understand belief systems? And listen, I understand that if you want to be involved with a group and a network and all that kind of fun stuff, that some people are there to make money even though they claim to be a nonprofit. But with that being said, how does that move? And is it worth giving up rights for access? That's what you have to think about. And listen, this subject right here is not going to be something that is going to be for everyone. Some people believe that some of these groups and organizations are the greatest thing since sliced bread because on how they have access to information. But I look at it from the aspect as well is that you cannot be a governing body on how you get certifications and also be a membership group, and that's the only way that you can get it. So I understand that if I go to college, I can get a degree for X, Y, and Z because I paid to go to college and I earned to be able to get this information. But I have to pay for a membership that is an ongoing thing for me to be able to get some kind of letters that go behind my name, not one time, but ongoing, because all of a sudden my credentials go away if I'm not member and paying for ongoing retraining. That sometimes all it is just a fee and not a retest. Does it sound like I'm in it for helping the greater good, or does it sound like I'm in it for the money? I'm asking your opinion because there's a lot of stuff to think about. But the interesting part is there's a lot of information that's there. Because listen, the hook always has to be that there has to be good info. There has to be great resource. There has to be good information that comes about, because I am not going to say, hey, listen, you can come here and I am going to sell this to you and this is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread if it's not a good thing to start off with. Why is it that you don't find out some of this information until later on? That's the stuff to think about. A lot of things to circulate inside of that brain there in regards of talking about this. Think about that today. It's really going to make you fry your pickle a little bit if you really start giving it some thoughts on what the hell is really going on.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with Home Title Lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves. Only on Safety FM.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring Safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
I'm like frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어 속였던 dating 어플 다 깔아 또 보았어 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract Don't know about me and you yeah we fell into the cracks yeah 깎고 너네 no cap 왜 나는 보여 what's happening 객관적일 수가 없이 이미
Okay, there you go. 44 minutes past the top of the hour. And just in case you're wondering, this is K-pop. That's why you're hearing the mixture of some words you understand and some words possibly you don't. This is Cold Blooded, available on Spotify and iTunes. This is by Dazlo. So there you go. Thanks to Dazlo for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Some fun stuff for sure. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Okay, let's get moving and grooving because it is that time to start talking about some other things that are going on inside of this world. Let's talk about some flight risks. Take a listen to this real quick. You know that when you were a kid, all the stories that you read about sci-fi movies that you saw that promised that by now that we'd be getting into flying cars, well, at least we're one step closer. Thomas Pattson, owner of the Swedish company Jetson, yeah, that's right, Jetson, has completed the first ever commute in an $83,000 space-age flying car. He piloted the Jetson 1, a vehicle from his Italian home to a company building in Tuscany. He called the trip a workplace of a momentous occasion for an electric vertical takeoff and landing in an eVTOL sector. The Jetson 1 is powered by 8 electric motors and has a flight time of 20 minutes and can reach a top speed of 63 miles per hour. The futuristic vehicle is constructed from a rare car-inspired lightweight aluminum space frame and carbon caviar composite body and runs on a high discharge lithium battery. Jetson has sold all the production for 2022 and is taking orders for next year. The company says that it is easy to operate and they can make anyone a pilot in less than 5 minutes. So there you go. At least as long as there is only one of these things in the sky, I guess a challenge accepted is something to think about for sure, because that is going to make you probably question some things about what is going on inside of life. That is for sure. It's a 5-minute and 33-minute video that is available online of this thing hitting the airwaves. You'll hear some of the music in the background. I guess some of the simplest way to explain this, if I can, is that it looks very similar to what a well, how would I mean, I don't even know how to talk about this. I mean, it's an interesting looking vehicle. I'm sure that if you're interested in pulling it up, you are more than welcome on doing so. I just don't understand how you would get that thing up in the air, and it really fits only about one person. So it's not really, I don't know. I don't know. There's probably more questions than answers, but hey, at least it's going the right direction here in regards of moving forward with that. So there you go. Anyways, meouch. Yes, meouch. It's a common expression among cat owners, just sitting there judging me. So common that, in fact, that the internet is currently on wild photos of judgmental cats. Ton of Reddit users are sharing pics of the critical creatures who appear silently casting judgment on their owners with curled lips and squinting eyes, felines with furrowed brows, and showing up on social media platforms. The hashtag judgmental cat has more than 388,000 posts on TikTok. But the truth is, in spite of how it appears, cats are not judgmental, says certified cat behavior consultant Marilyn Krieger. Yeah, according to her, this might be the other thing causing the expression. Perhaps the cat is feeling cornered, or maybe they're in a slight pain, or another animal around them. People judge that the human characteristics are not feline characteristics, and oddly, that they're feeling that the kitty is looking down at us actually has an upside. A lot of people think that it's cute, and it will make them feel more warm and fuzzy towards the cat. Well, now I know my cat's judgmental. You can tell that they're looking at me. I mean, I don't know. How is this even a news story? Maybe the news story right there is to think about this. If you spend time on TikTok and you realize that there are 388,000 posts about cats, well, that should tell you something about that.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Taylor. Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." I like that. Thanks, Taylor. Think about a big, huge project that you have to do. Think of all of the time you have to invest to get that done. It seems daunting, but you can break it into smaller, more reasonable parts and then whittle away at it each and every day until it's finished. I remember a manager who told me, "You can't eat an elephant all at once, but one bite at a time, over time, you could eat a herd of elephants." That's true. I'm not sure what elephant tastes like, and I'd rather keep it that way, but one day at a time, your project will also get finished. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. A wealth of data indicates that deliberate neuroplasticity, in other words, your brain's ability to change in response to specific intended experiences, requires focus during learning, actual rewiring occurs in sleep, and it's accelerated by increasing adrenaline immediately post-learning. Whether your goal is to learn new information or new physical skills, the underlying process is one of neuroplasticity, your nervous system's ability to rewire in response to experience. Most people are focused on trying to learn new things by deliberate exposure to that new information or experiencing it, which stands to reason that learning how to focus, sleep, and also safely spike adrenaline post-learning is how you can optimize your learning process. For more information on wellness, check out AlessaMorgan.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's get moving and grooving and talking about a little bit about everything that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse here, because that is probably the best thing to do. Let me tell you real quick about the most important thing that I will tell you at any point during any conversation that we have. And let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or you have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local community whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. Listen, we can't do what we do around here without you, the most important part on the planet. You as a person, that's for sure. You can go to those two things that I just referenced to, or you can go to the website at afsp.org. That is afsp.org to get everything moving and grooving if you're so inclined to do so. So there you go. That's the information that I have for you if you want to know about that. That's my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Anyways, currently 53 minutes past the top of the hour. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm. If you want to come over, hang out, and do the things that we do over there, you're more than welcome on doing so. So just some stuff there. Anyways, no winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $328 million jackpot, or $186.3 million cash payout. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about this real quick. I'll just reference this. Did you hear about Ben Affleck's 10-year-old son who accidentally backed a Lamborghini into a BMW at a dealership in Los Angeles? How the hell did the kid get the keys? Maybe that's something to talk about, but that's a whole other question and story to talk about. So there you go. Anyway, let's continue talking about some other stuff that is going on inside of the world. 4 months after being arrested at Moscow airport for cannabis possession, WNBA star Brittany Griner has been given a trial start date. During her brief appearance at the Russian courtroom yesterday, Griner was told that her trial will begin on Friday. She was also informed that she will remain in custody for the duration of the trial. Griner faces 10 years in prison if convicted. So there you go. Some stuff to think about that will be going on there. I'm sure we will all be on, on the look-see on what is going on there. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Let's go back to, let's see. Let's go to 1966. The U.S. Senate unanimously approved a bill that standardized federal highway regulation. The chief lobbyist who created the momentum for the bill was Ralph Nader. Alongside with regulation was, of course, spending to the tune of relatively partially of $465 billion. The standard went into place following the bill, including standardized bumper heights, rear view mirrors, seat belt, and windshield wipers, and more. That all happened back in 1966. So some things to think about. Anyways, if you're looking at some birthdays to celebrate today, I have some of those for you. Jasmine Richards turns 32. Kelly Pickler turns 36. Savage turns 41. John Watts, 41. Felicia Day, 43. Rob Dyrdek turns 48. Aileen Quinn turns 51. Elon Musk turns 51. Let's see. Jay Schroeder turns 61. John Elway, 62. Kathy Bates, 74. And Mel Brooks, he turns 96 today. If you're looking for some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those. National Paul Bunyan Day. National Insurance Awareness Day. Tapioca Day. Is that like for the pudding? Because that's what I'd like to know. International Body Piercing Day. Maybe it's today is the day that you go get that piercing you've been thinking about. Come on, tell me what it is. Which piercing was it? Which one has you moving and grooving that you've been giving some hoopsies to that you wanted to do? Come on, what is it? It's okay. You should go do that today to celebrate this all-important day. Anyways, did you know living near a busy road can increase your risk of premature death by a fifth? According to a new research of scientists from the New York University say that people exposed to above average of air pollution were 20% more likely to die over the next 14 years, mainly to cardiovascular disease. The study also shows that the rates of heart attacks and strokes rose by 17% among those living near heavy traffic. The finding opens the door for screening programs and preventative measures that could improve chances of survival. That's under Did You Know? So there's some information for you. Also, let me go ahead and share some other info with you. If you need a random joke for today, I have that for you. Whether I see a man with a beard, a mustache, or glasses, I think there's a guy who has taken every precaution to avoid people doodling on photographs of him. Think about that. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What is your favorite public space to be in and why? Library, bar, park, mall, stadium, etc. It's all about people watching. Whichever one floats your boat is the way to take a look at it. Anyways, if you need something for the water cooler, try this. Question: this food is thrown away more often than any other. What is it? Bananas. Yep, bananas. That's why the minions love them so much. So there you go. Anyway, so that's pretty much going to end our time together. If you want to come and hang out on RadioBig.fm, you can do that. Or go over to TuneIn Radio. That's TuneIn Radio to go out, hang out, and we can take a listen together of what the hell is going on. You can still call in by callinradio.com all the way till 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time if you're hanging out over there, just so you know. And so if I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Plenty of people miss their share of happiness, not because they never found it, but because they didn't stop to enjoy it. Think about it. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen and being the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, we cannot do what we do around here. Anyways, I will see you soon in the very near future, hopefully coming up to the top of the hour. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
I'll tell you I'm sorry if you want me back. I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like